So as soon as the rumors started circulating around a new PlayStation or an Xbox, so did the controversy. They started making the rounds. There's a lot of unhappy people who are pissed off at the idea of having their machines already being outdated, outperformed so soon after the initial release, especially people who may have just recently purchased a console. There's a lot of bundles that are still $399 for PlayStation 4 that you can go buy right now. So in a few months, you might turn around and could go buy another PlayStation 4 for the same price point and have a system that's basically twice the power if you consider that the GPU is twice that of the original PlayStation 4. So a lot of people aren't happy about it. A lot of PlayStation fans are saying, look, nobody was asking for this. This wasn't even something that we wanted Sony to do. Sony has sold close to 40 million consoles, and a lot of people feel like that by coming out with a new system, they're just doing either a money grab or they're giving the people who made this console so successful the middle finger. But it's not just fans and gamers who are upset by this. Apparently, there's a lot of developers who aren't happy with the prospects either. Former senior editor at IGN and co-host to one of the largest PlayStation podcasts running. Actually, I think it is the largest PlayStation podcast that's running and on air. That he says that a trusted source tells me most developers are not happy with PlayStation 4.5 and having to develop around it. Extra costs, planning, and other nonsense. Now, to be fair, he's one of the people also who are, heavily against this. He's been bashing Sony, saying, what the hell are you thinking, all this. So even if you kind of doubt his statement, even if you, approach it from a skeptical standpoint and maybe think that he doesn't have the sources, even though I would, kind of argue, well, who better to know developers, who better to have sources than somebody who was a senior editor at IGN, somebody who's still embedded heavily in the community. You've also got the BioWare's co-founder who recently came out against the mid-cycle upgrade and claimed it would be, quote, a gigantic pain in the ass. He says, quote, I'd say that it'd be a gigantic pain in the ass that flies in the face of the purpose of consoles. It's funny, there's actually some stories behind that. For example, the original Xbox, Microsoft actually had multiple different DVD drives. They didn't tell anybody, but as a developer, you discovered this, and you discovered that they had different performance, and sometimes you'd have these boxes of refurbished drives and different brands and different equipment, and it caused incredible variability. The whole purpose of consoles is the set of requirements that you work against from a hardware perspective. I just think it's bad. I think lock it. Let developers do their thing. But at the end of the day, if you can just focus your development effort on one set of hardware requirements and target, you are going to get a better result. It's easier than having to split it, adding more people, having to port things across. It's like dipping your toe back into the PC pool where you have to consider all these things. It was nice on consoles not having to consider like performance sliders. It's just crazy. To change this is complete lunacy. So that is a statement from BioWare's co-founder. As I've stated before in the recent videos that I've done on this subject, which you can go back and watch, I go over how they're starting in October. Devs are going to have a patch ready for the new system. So you're going to have the base game, then you're going to have to make another patch for the game on this other more powerful system. And so people are complaining that it's going to cause more work, which more work means more money. Games are already astronomical in price. So you're going to have to hire people to debug this, to, write the codes and everything else. And they're not happy about it. And what they're saying is that before, whenever you only had to write codes for just one system and you knew the specs for that system, then you could focus all your attention on that and make that the best possible port. And so some people are afraid that games now, maybe on the original PlayStation 4, are going to get poor ports because devs are going to focus all the attention on the more powerful system. Because, if you think about it, like if you're a console developer, and you're building a game that you want to be graphically awesome, which system are you going to focus on? Where are you going to put your trailers out from? Are you going to pull it from the original PlayStation 4? Are you going to pull it from the Xbox One? Or are you going to pull it from this more powerful system, the one that's going to make your product look the best to everybody? That's just marketing 101. So, I could see the arguments from all sides. And I mean, I see it from Sony, I see it from the gamers, I see it from the developers. And to play devil's advocate for a few moments, I mean, as far as the developer goes, complaining about having more work to do, I mean, doesn't that go for pretty much anybody in life? I mean, if you're at a job and you find out that you've got more work to do, it doesn't matter what it is. I don't know anybody who's going to be excited or happy about that. It's more work. Everybody's going to complain. And then the other side is that most of these developers are already developing on the PC. So most games are multi-platforms anyway. Most games, I mean, games are developed on the PC to begin with. So a lot of people are already having to work on all these different configurations. So I don't know that adding just one more where it's still set to an extent, you still know exactly what you're going to have and what you're getting. The whole point of the new Xbox and the new PlayStation was that they were built on architecture, which both companies have bragged about being more like the PC, so that it's easier for devs to actually do all this. So I don't know, I mean, it doesn't seem like it would be that big of a deal as far from a development standpoint, but I can certainly, understand not wanting to do more work and having extra things that you do have to go through and look at if you want to get your game out on the PlayStation. I mean, before you could put a game out on one system, but now you've definitely got to do at least 2 different patches, one for each system, and you're still just looking at one platform, still just for PlayStation. And you might be even looking at more if Xbox does jump in on this. So again, I can see it from all kind of points of view, and so we'll still take a look at this. We'll keep following it, see what more developers say, but at least according to some are not happy about this. So do you see PlayStation 4 Neo as hurting or helping PlayStation when it comes to developers and fans? Stay tuned to VGN, videogamesandnews.com for the latest headlines as they happen. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Are you listening? Damn.